Assalamu alaikum. Today is March the 2nd, 2020. And, I'm doing this video to help brothers, Muslim brothers and sisters who want to better and do something with the Ummah or the Muslim community. It's been hard for me because I've been studying and I have YouTube channels. I want to make a website and I'm working on my book and so many things. And I've been trying to find a way to help the Ummah using my ability of telepathy to communicate with them and try to make peace. But unfortunately, it doesn't work as I expected. There's a lot of things that needs to be discussed through the Ummah because everyone hears and listens to my thought. But anyways, I don't want to talk about my ability. I want to talk to you Muslim brothers and sisters who want to make a difference. It's time for us to wake up to the reality of which we live in. And what is the reality of which we live in? I saw a video where this young sister, she says, "A shame on us, Ummah. There is no Muslim nation." Yes, I am not a perfect person, and I am not going to say that I am the most righteous Muslim. I want to be a Muslim. Why do I say I want to be a Muslim? Because a Muslim, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a Muslim. Jesus, Isa, was a Muslim. All the prophets that came from the Torah or the Old Testament to even the New Testament, as there is also the 12 disciples and also Jesus Christ in the Quran. And and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon all of the prophets. And this is something that has been going on for so many years. And I understand now why so many brothers and sisters are divided, as the devil, division is a power for him, because united we can stand. The teaching is been there, is been implemented, but we have gone far away from it. And why do I say that? Because Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in the Quran talks about atoms, about how atoms have a balance, a number of what is to make the manifestation of a particle. So it's very interesting that we had this information 500 AD, and never have we ever tried to discover what the Quran really gives us, because it is a blessing from heaven above. And Allah has blessed Muslims so much. And I've heard a video where it says that in one of the hadiths, it says when the Dajjal comes, we're going to be suffering. And it's not because we're little bit of number, but because most of the Ummah has gone the other way instead of the righteous way. So I look at it, and with my ability, I'm able to analyze things, and I see it's true. I see the signs going on. But this is why I'm here. I'm making a call. I want to make a group in Facebook, which is going to be Muslims who want to make a difference. Or better said, Muslims make a difference. And this is my beginning, and this is my call out to you guys to help me educate brothers, to help me bring ideas for everyone, and to start somewhere, to construct somewhere. Remember, Prophet Muhammad started just a little group, peace be upon him, and it started from there, and it got bigger. So, inshallah, between you and I and other brothers and sisters, that we will be able to make a community which will be able to educate ourselves, which we will make some type of difference in this world, so that I'm not saying something big, but as something as simple as helping a community where there is no water, to bring water, or to help people who need education and bring them education. Remember, as I have realized that sometimes I only give $100, $200 to the charities of Yemen and Palestine and so on and so on. And sometimes I feel so frustrated because I want to give more. And I'm like, how am I going to give more if I don't have any more? Because my job, it doesn't allow me to help my family and help myself also. So I have to make a sacrifice. And this is the best I can do, I guess, but I am trying my hardest to reach out and to give my full force, or my full dedication to the Ummah, to child development and understanding of what is the parapsychology or paranormal. So that was my introduction. I hope that I encourage you guys to learn a little bit more about the Quran, and not just learn about the Quran, but also try to understand it. Because something I learned as a Christian, when I was a Christian, they said you can read the Bible and you can study the Bible. And I didn't understand that. When I read the Bible so many times, so many times. But when I studied it, when I looked what every word meant, when I analyzed things, it brought me to the conclusion that Islam has always been written from the beginning, that it wasn't Jews who started the worship of the creator, of one creator, but it was already implemented before them. And you can find that in the Torah. That's the Old Testament. And it's so interesting how many people neglect the truth, and how many people follow just because these people say this is the way, but they do not search. And this is what we have to do. We have to search. For the Quran gives us knowledge from up above. Just imagine 500 AD. 500 AD. We are on 2020 right now. And we still don't understand the understanding of our brain, of consciousness, of subconscious. We do not understand the balance of nature. In the Quran it says, Allah is the substance of everything that exists. So if a microscopic little organism lives in you that is a part of Allah, you are powerful. You are powerful. You are special. You are the perfect creation which can adapt to any type of situation. We see, if you see the videos of Syria, of Yemen, of children suffering, and they're strong. They deserve better than what they are receiving right now. And the only way things will change if you and I make a change, if you and I work and try to spread the message of peace, to bring back Islam to what it was. We see that the government doesn't care. We are the government. We are the ones who allow them. Unfortunately, if we go to violence, they are going to go to violence, and we cannot win with violence. We have to win with this. As a ummah, together, we can stand. But divided, we will fall, and they will conquer us. So, as one of the beginning things of my discussion, that I want to encourage a lot of brothers and sisters is in investment. I don't know if you could see very well. It says a Muslim guide to investment and let's say right there, personal finance. I'm sorry. And here you go. I hope that you guys can see it very well. One of the good investment, which I recommend, is Wahad. It's WAHED. So what happens is that we're getting into stocks, and if you have heard, Saudi Arabia has gotten into stocks too. You can make money from stocks. Is very good. I'm not going to lie to you. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, we have to be very careful of how to get this money on stocks, and are we going to use it for personal use? Because I have I believe, right, that if I make this money and it's not for me, and I use this money for the ummah, I am doing something good. And it's not like I'm investing, I'm giving money, and I'm borrowing money, and they're giving me interest, and I'm going to keep the money. No, that money I'm going to invest it, right, in Islam. I'm going to give back, because I have to find a way to make money. And it's very important. It's like we can make stores, but the commercial, our market is not together. So that is a downfall for us. And this is where we have to learn of how financial and investment goes. For a fact is that there is 25% of the world population is Muslim. We need to have television, Muslim television. We need to have Muslim telephones. We need Muslim radio. We need technology so that it can make jobs. We cannot be just inspired or waiting for America or for the UK or EU or China or Russia to develop these things and bring job companies to our country. We have to learn how to develop them, and this is why I am doing this video, to wake you guys up. I am trying my hardest. I want to build a school. Just to give you a little bit of heads up, I'm working on psychology. I want to build a Muslim daycare and have the children, because I believe that with what I have read and what I have studied, that I can make the children at the age of 1 already be learning how to read and multiplying. Well, not multiplying, adding, I'm sorry, at 1 years old. So if at 1 years old, I am able for them to have a higher education, I believe that would be a head start. And inshallah, you know what I mean? If Allah gives us Almighty the strength and the power and the desire of His will, that the Ummah will become a better educated Ummah. and better decision. So this is my goal, and this are my little steps that I have to do. But it goes beyond that because I want to study parapsychology. That's going to be my major field. But I want to do this for the UMA. So back to investment. This is what I'm talking about. That we have to learn how to help each other. We have to support each other. We have to learn how to make business and help each other's business to grow more jobs. Not for us, but for the UMA. If we all work together, we can make a difference. And the big difference is that there will be less people, less Muslims hungry out on the streets eating. We will be able to support them. It's like, I'll give an example. Mercy Bakery in Yemen is doing a great job. I gave it $200, and it gave me an explanation of how many breads they make, right? And instead of using the money and just buy the food and give it to them, they made a bakery. And this bakery, they use the money and get more profit. What I mean by profit is they get more production, so there are more people who are able to eat. And that is something that is amazing and is great. And if we work like that, I'm telling you, we can make less suffering. I'm not talking about we're going to make something so great like the United States or the UK. I'm talking about helping other Muslims. That's my main goal. You know what I mean? Helping each other, taking that suffering from others. Me and you can do it. Every time we go out, how you doing? When we go to the Ummah, when we go to Juma, we should know each other's names. We should be able to help each other. Oh, look, I have a position. And if I have that position and you do not feel it, then I will teach you. This is how we're going to make a difference. This is how we're going to come out of the zero. Because if not, then we're not doing nothing but only pray. And Allah is, alhamdulillah, Allah is merciful. Allah is merciful, right? But Allah has given us revelations of what is to come. So we should be the best in physical, in mental, and in spiritual. For the simple fact that we know that the Shah will come one day. So if we're fat, how are we going to run? Huh? We'll be running out of breath. How are we going to stand if we have no education and no knowledge of how defending ourselves? How, when we see the most torturous, most evilest feelings and actions, when we see this, like, I'll give you an example. Myanmar. When Myanmar attacked the Rohingyas, I saw a video of a girl. She was 16 years old. And she saw another little girl getting raped by many. And she got raped also. But she watched, before she got raped, she watched the other little girl get raped. Get her breasts cut off. And they ripped open from her vagina all the way to her tonsils. Can you imagine what psychological, when I saw her, I saw that her soul, her iman was gone. She lost. And you know what confirms that she lost? Because she became a prostitute. And this is the downfall. And let me just bring something that I want to bring to all the males' attention, that our sisters deserve education, so that their only reliable thing is not just sex, their body. They'll be able, when there is no man, learn how to survive. And they will develop a way to survive, not only through sex. And this is something that is downfall, because I know Uma. I'm not gonna say I'm a perfect person, because that's one of my downfalls. As a male, that's one of my downfalls. But everyone has their own test, right? And I'm trying. trying so hard. Really, I'm trying so hard. But yes, this is what it's about, getting together. So I said, we have to learn about Muslim investment stocks, and it's a good way to bring out some money, right? So that we can help each other. So that would be something that I want to share with you guys. And most important, remember that when we're doing stocks, it's not that you're just loaning, it's that you are a owner, a shareholder of the company. But this is something that we need to learn more, because I need to learn more about that, because that allows us to do these transactions, because we are not just lending the money. We are shareholders. So we own a part of this company, right? You know what I mean? And when we make it a big one, when we make it together, that's even better. Why? Because our voices can be heard, because we're investing a large amount of money. So, but that's a lot too much for you guys. So just let's start on Wahad. There's Wahad is in a lot of countries. Muslim investment. Please check out on this, and let's try to make a market, because there are certain things like Muslim clothes, and we have to make sure that all these things are coming. Like, for instance, sometimes they're handmade, and people will pay a very expensive money, because I know for a fact, if I get a kufi from Saudi Arabia and it costs $40, I'll pay $40. I'll pay $100 just because it's a kufi from Saudi Arabia, from Mecca, and I would like to cherish. I would like to have something from Mecca or Medina, or from brothers from Afghanistan, brothers from. I like having different, making me feel more closer to the culture. So it's something that you have to realize, and we have to help each other. For, like, I'll give you an example. In Sudan has 70, or I think it's 70 or 80% of Arabic gum, but they don't know how to process it, right? So this is where we have to make this community to help to build this way of them making able to process it. And what happens? It's a factory now. A factory, and factories, they need workers, right? And it goes evolving, and we can do better. Okay. So now I want to get into something that is very important, is the human mind and the human function. And I want you to realize something of how the mind, or how it is when we see things. Because, see, if you look at psychology, you think you're looking right side up, but it's really right side down. So it's upside down, not really right side up, right? Because the way you're looking at me right now is right side up, but in reality, I'm this way. But your eyes when the eyes process the information in your brain, it makes it right side up. And it's very interesting because why? Because there's a lot of Christians who have the cross and it's upside down in reality. So that's why I believe in Exodus 22, where the Ten Commandments, it says, don't make no image of what is in heaven, what is on earth, and what is beneath the earth. So, because if you look at it, if you ever heard of Satanic have the upside down cross, and it's so interesting how Satanics attack the Christians, but they don't attack the Muslims. So, it's really weird. It's just very controversial on that matter, but that's a whole another topic. And like I was explaining to you, you have to learn the function of your brain. For see this part right here. You see, when you have your whole five fingers, you see, you can tell there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But when you only have four fingers, you see, it changes. Your brain changes. So your brain can change. And you have to be very careful on what you eat, because everything that affects you as the long run, as your DNA becomes a mutated DNA, and it brings diseases like Alzheimer, Parkinson disease. All these things come because of the way you eat, the stress, life in general. You know what I mean? So we have to be very careful, and we have to learn about our body, because see, this is something that's very important. Right here, you see, this is the mandibular, and what's the problem with the mandibular is that it is the part of your brain which it brings fear. It brings fear. So you have to learn how to control it. And this is something that the military tries so hard in the United States to make their soldiers learn how to control their fear factor, right? Their mandibular. Right? Because you are able to be under stress or under anxiety if you have control of your mandibular, right? Which that is your fear factor. Because when your fear factor, when your heart starts beating, then your anxiety, you know what I mean? It just starts growing and growing and growing. So we have to learn about how that is. And that's why I always say psychology is very important. Is very important. For psychology gives you another paradigm. It gives you another way of looking life, of how people act and how people do what they do. And it's very important for us to learn that, because I'll give you a prime example right here. You see, this is the picture that just changed my life. If you look at it one way, you see a young lady just looking to the left, and if you look at it another way, you see the old lady, right? And it's just like this. You see a skeleton, but if you really look at it, it's not a skeleton. You see the face of that woman in the dude's eyes, and then it just changes. And there's two women. It's two women looking at each other, and it's not a skull. And that made me realize something, because in the book that I read, it said, right, that that's how life is. That you only see one way. But there's another option, but you don't see it, right? Because you have to remember, you have your right hemisphere and you have your left hemisphere, right? So what happens? Your left hemisphere, what happens? That is your conscious, and your right hemisphere is your subconscious, and your subconscious is what you see. Your surrounding makes who you are, right? Okay, so it's very important. That's why the Ummah is very important. Because in the Quran it says, when you're weak, when you need help, you run to the Ummah. But if there's no Ummah, who are you going to run to? Because remember, Allah gave you the blessing to choose how you want to live. It is not up to me. It's not up to no one. It is your choice. At the end of the day, you will make the choice. Satan can't make you. The demons can't make you. It is you who will make the last decision. So it's very important for you to learn these things of how the brain functions. And if you do not learn how the brain functions, then you will be very lost. Just like this part right here, hypnosis. See? Hypnosis. How is it, you know what I mean? How is it that these people are able to control your body and your mind with hypnosis? And like I said, if you do not allow it. And what do I mean by you do not allow it? You surround yourself, your community, your ummah, you will push them away. Because if we are together, we know that he's Muslim, he's a Muslim, we know what his mentality is. So when this other person comes in and he wants to bring us psychology and he wants to hypnotize us, hey, you're not Muslim. Please. There are decisions which we can make in life which will benefit us, the way we live, the way we do things. Right? So it's very important of you understanding of how your brain works. It's very important for you to understand that you are not alone. See, you have neurons. You have neurons, and your neurons just are energy that passes through your brain. See, you have neurons. And there's billions of neurons in your brain, which I believe, they come from a communication through photons and photons. If you look at quantum. So this is something that is very important. And one of the first steps that we have to do, like I said, is mind, body, and soul. You have to be strong in the mind. You have to be educated and with the mind. You know what I mean? And that's why the Holy Quran is it is a blessing from up above. Why? Because it has knowledge, right? But we have neglected the truth, and we have only looked for political gains. And because we Muslims, most Muslims are not really educated. When we go to these countries like Yemen, Afghanistan, they're not really educated. And that is one of the downfalls, right? Because we should be educated, right? So, mind, education, or knowledge, that's very important. 2, the body. See, the body, what you eat, it affects your DNA. The body, when you are healthy, when you do exercise, your brain has more oxygen. It functions way better. So that is something that is very important. And also the body will be willing to adapt, because if you teach a 1-year-old how to swim, he will learn. Right? So, and that's the SWAN project. It's called also Bozo effect. What it means, Bozo effect, is your child will do what he sees. So that's very important. And then we have number 3, which is the most important one for all of us. It's our iman, spirit. We have to be strong. That no matter what we're going through, no matter the torture, no matter the hunger, we will always have faith in Allah. And we will thank Him even when it's down. And it's hard. It's hard. Trust me. I know it's hard. Because every day since my ability came out to the public, I want to close it. Because I do not like people seeing my body, because my body's from my wife, and then I do negative things and I do bad things and it's not right, and then I get frustrated because I hear this, I hear that, you know what I mean? And I'm listening to other people, and I'm listening to this dude say he's the Dajjal, and then I heard the serpent twice, and it's so confusing. And I'm like, where does it lead me? And I'm telling the Ummah, help me, because I want to be a Muslim. I want to follow Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I want to follow the Quran. And this is one of the downfalls that I see in Islam, because a lot of children are being lost. Why? Because me and you do not do our obligations as a Muslim. To spend time with the children. If we see a brother, come on, brother, get him off the streets. Open some door. Hey, I'll teach you this way. That's what we have to do. We have to help each other. That's what is a ummah. That's what ummah is about. About knowing each other. When you go to Juma, hey, how you doing, Hanif? Oh, how you doing, Muhammad? That's what it's about. How's everything? How's your family? Oh, we don't have money. Oh, here, I have $20 because I have money, or whatever I can give. Or come to dinner. Come to dinner. Bring your family, come to dinner, please. And we share and we eat together. It is a blessing when Muslims come together. This is what I'm making. This is my call out to you. To help me help others. And I'm going to do my best. I'm trying my best. This is why I'm doing my videos. I have videos on YouTube. If you look at my Facebook, I have a lot of great information. So it's very important. And if we don't start helping each other, no one will. No one cares. I mean, really, most people, they want us to drink. They want us to smoke. They want us to get lost in their world. I see one time I was in DC and I saw a sister. And she had the hijab, but she had shorts. She was she was probably like 9 or 10, somewhere around, no, maybe a little bit older. But anyway, it doesn't matter. She was young. When I saw the hadith, when I saw it, I was like, wow, because I was really happy to see a young sister. But I didn't see, when all of a sudden I just saw like shorts, but real shorts. And I was like, that's wrong. Take the hijab off. If you want to be Muslim, be Muslim. If you don't want to be Muslim, then don't. There's more other religions. And the Quran says, it doesn't matter if you're Jew. It doesn't matter if you're Christian. It doesn't matter if you're Sapaditano. If you follow the will of the Creator, then you are on the right path. It's not the religion that will save you. It's your action. It's your submission to the Creator. That is what is going to save you. If you believe in an afterlife. if you believe in the Creator. That. And it's not and it's not only in the Quran, but it's in the Bible. It's in the Old Testament and the New Testament. That's what is so amazing. That's why I'm so grateful to Allah. Alhamdulillah. But I mean, these are things. It's like a lot of times, I'll give you another example. The red light in Pakistan. How can there be a place where there's prostitutes and brothers go over there? Huh? I understand. I understand. Trust me, I do understand. You know? But this is why I want to make this community. Because we have to help each other. If we don't help each other, we'll be lost. We have to do something. So this is my contribution. Hoping that you guys will listen. Hoping that you guys will reach out to other brothers. And every day you wake up, every day you come out of your house, you will try to do something for the Ummah. You will dedicate your life to Allah. Inshallah. I'm trying. Don't expect to be the perfect one neither. Because Allah is the one who's going to judge. Not you, not me. Allah is the one who's going to judge. He knows what's in your heart. Just try to be sincere. Try to be pure. And do your best. That's all I can say. So, to the last subject is parapsychology or paranormal. As I studied parapsychology and paranormal, I realized that ghosts do exist. I realized that telepathy exists. I realized that people can move things with their mind. I realized also that there's precognition, which precognition means is that they are able to say something from the future. They're not 100% correct, accurate. They're only 80% to 85% accurate or correct. But something that's very important for the Ummah to understand. There's a difference between someone who does witchcraft, who does sorcery, who uses words, chemicals to enchanting you, or sounds, from a person who is just born with the gift. See, everyone is born with the gift because the substance of Allah lives in you. And I'll give you an example. The mandigula, not the mandigula, the pineal gland, forgive me. The pineal gland, the pineal gland is a part of your brain that's in the center that allows you to have your sixth sense. And this is very important, you know what I mean? That we have to learn about the sixth sense. Because what means the sixth sense is like sometimes you feel dangers coming, but you don't listen to it and you go into the danger. Or sometimes you feel like someone's going to call you or someone got hurt, and that happens. That's your sixth sense. It's some as in my research, I believe, this is my belief and my theory, that photons interact, because photons are all around us, right? But they interact every time we eat. The photons are in the food. The photons are around us. Everything is made of atoms, and atoms are made out of photons. We have to learn quantum. And it gives an example, and it gives us the explanation of how these abilities and how these paranormals are able to exist. Now, my thing is, see, I've been reading about this book, right? Ingo Swann. And Ingo Swann was a CIA. He worked for the Stargate program. He was a psychic. They learned what's called remote viewing. And be very careful if you guys, because I see a lot of Muslims trying to find information about telepathy, about psychic, and remote viewing is not something out of the normal, as I just explained to you about your pineal gland. So remote viewing, what is remote viewing? Remote viewing is that I'm here and you're somewhere else in this world, grabbing information of, like, I'll give you an example. Ingo Swann made a predicament of the Russian making a large submarine, and it's been going on. And so these types of things come in, but like I said, it's not 100% accurate. It's only 80 to 85% accurate. And if you look at uh, Yosef, he had a vision, right? So these abilities are not witchcraft. So we have to be very careful, you know what I mean? When we talk about these types of people, we can't just want to kill them just because they have these abilities and we have these abilities. That's why it's very important for us to learn of how our body functions. You know, we have an oracle. See, our body makes energy. If you go like this and then you come together, you'll feel the magnetic energy, right? So we have to learn. I don't want to make this too long because I don't know if I'm going to be able to put it on Facebook. I want this to be put through you guys making the call. And like I said, I'm going to make a group. It's going to call it Muslims Make Difference. Okay? All right. Take care.